Alright, so welcome to another video. This is the video which I haven't covered before, which nobody else on the YouTube has covered it before. And this is really important if you specifically do cold outreach, if you specifically do cold emails, right? In this video, I'm going to be covering 4 different types of cold email campaigns that will literally 10x your replies, and how exactly you can create them, how exactly you can use them. So for a quick reference about why exactly I believe that this video is completely perfect for you, because almost 3.5 years ago, once I started my cold email agency, I had to face one single issue. The issue was, should I get started with a segmented approach, or should I get started with a broad approach, like broad campaigns like 50k, 200k, and just spray and pray, right? That actually works, but making sure how exactly you want to take that strategy, that is where the whole game plays. That is where the whole point of view is, in terms of you want to make sure, if you're taking the broad approach, you want to make sure the copywriting is perfect. You want to make sure the deliverability is perfect, right? But of course, I'm going to dive deeper into that, how exactly we can create that, right? First of all, one thing is clear. This video is all about the crafting of the perfect campaigns, and we're not going to be focusing on specifically about copywriting. We're not be focusing on the deliverability. Of course, I have already covered that in the previous videos. And what exactly you need to do is, right, there are 3 important steps. First of all, your deliverability. Your deliverability should be perfect. That is the main infrastructure setup. If that's perfect, then you can simply move on to copywriting, which of course I've covered that previously. And if that's perfect, then comes the part of lead listing, right? The lead list is directly proportional to the copywriting, which means that the better copywriting and the better relevancy you can create between both of that, between the lead list and the whole messaging, that is when you'll get positive replies. Then comes the part of appointment setting, right? These are 3 important steps which you need to make sure are covered perfectly. But today, in this video, I'm just going to be covering the creation of campaigns, right? And hopefully every single question might be solved. If not, if you still have any queries, simply comment down below, right? That being said, let's get started with the video. So first of all, proof of concept about who we are, what we do at LeaderMax. We scale B2B and SaaS companies. Our customer acquisition system, outbound system, is specifically built to help you increase the revenue, maximize the profit, and elevate your enterprise value. We're going to set up the complete infrastructure setup, the complete go-to-market strategy, the complete lead gen, the complete appointment setting, and all you have to do is just take the call and close the deal, right? And of course, my name is Moskram, and I'm the CEO and founder of LeaderMax. That was a quick plugin, and let me just show you the proof of concept, why exactly this specific strategy works. So these are some of the campaigns we have ran for our clients. As you can clearly see, under 35k emails are just test campaigns. You can clearly see the campaigns with 3,994 emails sent had 72 positive replies, and the one with 30k had just 24. These are just test campaigns, right? Once you have figured out the perfect value prop, the perfect ICP, you simply scale the ways up. As you can clearly see, 223,000 emails sent over the time span of almost 2 months, and 907 positive replies, and 657 meetings booked, right? Of course, some more proof of concept, and there goes more and more, right? And these are some of the organizations we've booked demo calls for our clients. And of course, I'm not going to dive much deeper into that, but just a quick high level overview. And with Walmart, right, with Nike, and of course, the list goes on and on and on, right? With Workday, Zendesk, Freshworks, Tang, Inmar, UKG, and of course, it goes on and on, right? That was a quick point of view about why exactly this strategy works, right? That being said, top 4 strategies. First of all, it's going to be contextual precision, which is known as relevancy. You want to create that relevancy. Then comes the part of event-driven activation, that is known as the triggers. Then comes the part of hyper-segmented targeting, right? And then the broad spectrum ICP expansion in cold email strategies, that is known as the main targeted ICP campaigns, right? Of course, I'm going to dive deeper into how exactly everything works and why exactly these works, right? So first of all, it's going to be contextual precision relevance, and the whole focus is to craft personalized messaging based on the firmographics and demographics, which basically means that you want to create some sort of basin which on both of you guys can relate. Let's suppose I live in New Jersey, right? And that specific person also live in New Jersey, right? We can create relevance that we both live in New Jersey, and we can simply use that specific icebreaker and create relevancy and just send out the cold emails. Let's suppose I have studied in Harvard and the specific prospect has also studied in Harvard. How exactly want to find that? Of course, by using Clay. I've covered multiple videos on how exactly you can do that, on how exactly you can craft personalized first lines. You can simply proceed with that, right? You want to find a base relevance. You want to find a base in which both of you guys can relate. That is known as relevance, right? That is the whole point. Of course, in that, the lead list will be really, really small, I would say. Almost 2K, 3K. That actually works. With that, you can get almost 50 to 70 positive replies rate. As I mentioned previously, let me just quickly show you. So these are some of the hyper-targeted segment campaigns that in which we create the relevance. Almost 4K emails sent and 72 positive replies. Why? Because we created a base in which both of us can relate, right? And this is going to be high value prospects and with deep personalization, which you can of course do by Clay. And for example, SaaS companies with 50 plus employees that recently raised fundraising. Of course, with that is going to be triggers as well. And there is a really small and thin line between both of that. And you want to find out how exactly you want to take that, why exactly you want to take it, right? Let me just quickly show you some quick examples so that you can get a better understanding. Just saw your recent funding route. Huge milestone. Scaling sales is tough, especially when hiring is slow. We help SaaS like yours build a predictable outbound system that converts funding growth into pipeline. Worth a quick chat. You can use multiple relevance, such as they recently raised a funding. That can also be considered as triggers. But for relevancy, I would personally say something that actually relates with them. Let's suppose they post a LinkedIn post, right? That can be either considered as trigger or relevance, right? Of course, congrats on the funding. More capital means bigger growth targets. We specialize in helping SaaS companies scale their outbound sales without bloating headcounts. Want to see how we do it, right? You can use funding. You can use recent. Yeah, with funding especially, this is one of the relevancy that can surely work. Where you can use simply funding, that recently raised funding, or somewhere about that, right? And of course, some more examples. Growing fast but struggling to keep up with outbound. We help funded SaaS teams book more demos without hiring a massive SDR team. Worth a quick chat, right? That's pretty much it. Of course, the document link will be in the description so that you can get a better understanding of why this works and how this works. And literally no strings attached. You don't have to give me your email, not at all, right? Then comes the part of event-driven activation that is known as the triggers, right? Really important. In this, we're going to be focusing on the outreach when a specific event happens. It's more like an API and a webhook, right? Then, of course, it's best for timely and relevant messaging. For example, recent job changes, funding rounds, hiring signals, right? As I mentioned previously, there's a really thin line between triggers and relevance, and you can simply leverage that specific trigger or relevance, right? And for a quick example, just saw you brought on a new head of sales. Huge move. We help SaaS teams like yours set up a scalable outbound system that books more demos fast. Want to chat? Quick example. And another one. Congrats on the funding. Many SaaS teams struggle to scale outbound after raising. We help automate lead gen without hiring more SDRs. Think it's worth a quick chat. Hiring a VP of growth means big goals ahead. We help funded SaaS teams build outbound that delivers pipeline without adding more headcount. Want to see how? That's pretty much it. So it can be job changes, funding rounds, can be hiring signals, anything in terms of that is going on into the company at the moment. Either they're decreasing the employee size, they're increasing more employee size, they're hiring more people, anything in terms of that, right? Then comes the part of hyper segmented targeting. That is going to be micro ICP campaigns. The whole focus is going to be targeting small but hyper relevant segment and precise targeting with higher response rates. And literally in that, all you have to do is first run a really broad campaign, and based on that you can simply scale it down to really, really small level and find out which companies actually had the most positive replies rate towards your side. Which means that in the smart lead, of course, you can check the people who are interested. You can simply copy their specific URL, add them to either Apollo, find out their company size, and based on that create your campaigns, right? And a quick example would be, notice you're in niche space. You want to enter that. Our outbound system helps specific niche land high quality leads without a spamming mass outreach. Worth a quick chat. So in that, for example, I target SaaS companies, right? Based on that, I can divide about B2B SaaS companies in terms of ad tech, fintech, sales tech, martech. I'm going to divide it down, right? In the niche space, I'm going to write martech SaaS. And the niche space, I'm going to write B2B SaaS, martech SaaS, ad tech SaaS, fintech SaaS. I want to create the relevance in terms of the industry, probably about the keywords, or probably about somewhere in terms of the employee size, right? I'm going to break it down rather than sending out campaigns to 1 to 50, 2 to 100, 500 plus, somewhere about that, right? And of course, we specialize in helping specific role in specific industry, but high intent demos with ideal fit customers. Want to see how it works, right? In that, you can either leverage the job title, you can leverage the industry, you can leverage the keywords, you can leverage specifically, let's say, the employee size. You can leverage that, right? Then another example, saw your leading growth ad company. We help in a specific industry. Teams generate high quality outbound leads with ultra personalized campaigns, open to quick convo. In that, there's a really important point where you can leverage that. What you can do, you can charge them more. Since you're sending really segmented campaigns, what you can do, let's say you only work with B2B MarTech SaaS companies, right? You only work with MarTech companies. You only work with, let's say, agencies who have MRR of 10K plus. You can simply leverage that data, leverage that trigger point, add that into your email, and simply they'll be like, oh, you guys just work with those? Of course, you might have more expertise in that. You guys are more proficient in that. Just simply leverage that, right? The leverage is the main part. And probably I'm not gonna, count the triggers of how many times I've said the word leverage, but just ignore that, right? And then of course, the broad spectrum ICP expansion, that is known as the scaled ICP campaigns. And that is going to be mass outreach with a broad ICP and high volume campaigns with systematic personalization and emailing all SaaS founders in North America. It can be emailing all agency owners in, let's say, Europe, in Asia, and somewhere about that. And of course, we're going to be using really light personalization. And the way it works is that you want to find a copy that actually works. You want to find a copy that actually works, right? Which means the subject line is perfect, the call to action is perfect, the bodies are perfect, the first line is perfect, everything is top notch. You can simply add a massive lead list and scale your ways up. The way we do our lead max, of course, we're gonna once we onboard a client, we're gonna set almost 10 to 12 different test campaigns. We're gonna test different industries, different ICPs, different messaging. Once we have found out the perfect messaging, the perfect ICP, we're simply going to add a massive lead list and scale our ways up. Literally scale our ways up, right? And a quick example, scaling outbound but struggling with conversion, and we help teams automate cold outreach while keeping it personal and effective. Think it's worth a quick chat. It's not irrelevant, it's not targeted, but it's straight to the offer, straight to the point, right? And of course, outbound sale is tough, too much volume, not enough replies. We help SaaS teams generate predictable pipeline with high volume, smart outreach, open to quick chat. Literally, that's it. That's literally it. These are the 4 important campaigns that you need to consider before sending out those cold emails at scale, or before buying a lead list almost for $2,000. You don't have to do that, right? Start with small and work your ways up, right? And of course, quick plug-in. If you want to work with us at LeadMax, you can simply either join the waitlist. The link for that is going to be in the description. At the moment, we're not hiring more clients, but of course, you can simply enter your application. You can fill in a couple of details, and our team will get back to you within a day or so. And of course, we'll take it from there. If not, you can simply schedule a call with me on priority. Of course, it's $100. In that call, we'll discuss where you are, what are the bottlenecks that's preventing you from scaling, and how exactly we can help you achieve your goals. And of course, if we're the right fit, that's great. That's great news, right? Of course, we can proceed further, and the $100 will be credited towards the final payment. If not, if you're not the right fit, not a problem. We'll simply refund the whole $100 back to you. No questions asked at all. This $100 just acts as an entry to show that you're actually interested. If you're not a problem, just proceed with the waitlist and our team will get back to you. And make sure you check out the link in description. It's either going to be in the description, in the comments. Just proceed with that. All right. Happy days. Bye.